This is the Crossing Bridges podcast, addressing the topics of leadership, criminal justice, and fatherhood. How can we become better leaders? Where are all the daddies? Why is crime at an all-time high? Here is your host, Bayonle Arashi.
It is the 24th episode of the Crossing Bridges podcast. I'm very excited. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have the chance to start off this podcast, which was just a thought, which was just a belief, it was just an idea of me just bringing my thought, bringing my experience over the last 4 decades and a little bit more uh, on this planet Earth, on this podcast, to share some of the little wisdom I've gathered over the years, to share my experience in life in different industries that I've worked from starting as a technician in the broadcast engineering over 2 decades ago to working in football industry, soccer industry as it is called here, onto coming to the United States as an immigrant and creating a new path entirely, working different industry, doing all the job that I need to do the all the odd jobs that I need to do. Now to working in the criminal justice system, to starting a business, to failing in many, many things. I'm very excited to share this with you, and I hope you will watch and listen to this particular episode because it is a very special one. It is one that is very personal to me. I call it the birthday edition because I'm very, very privileged to be born in the month of June, and June is always a very special month to me, as I have had a lot of experience since I turned 40 a couple of years ago, and I think I got to understood what it means to really suffer a midlife crisis, and of course to really pay your dues on the path of becoming a person of excellence. I want you to know, before I go further on this podcast today, that everything I'm going to share today, it is not coming from a place of someone that is an expert or that knows it all. It is for you to understand that all this message I'm trying to share with you is for us to learn together, for me to share the journey with you, to share the process with you, and for us to understand together that if we are willing to put in the work, if we are willing to be patient, if we are willing to sacrifice something, to give something, that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. So, welcome to this very special episode of the Crossing Bridges podcast. It is the episode 24, and I title it navigating the young adult route. That's what I'm going to title this episode: navigating the young adult route. Young adult being defined by Google and many dictionaries I've seen as someone or anyone in their teenage or early 20s. That is my audience. That has always been my focus because I feel that thank God for books, thank God for few mentors that I have through books and through their work while I was growing up, that I was able to assess their work, and it was able to shape and guide me towards where I am today. It is very, very privileged. Many have died, many are incarcerated, many are hospitalized, many are where they don't want to be or where they plan to be. Many have used their brokenness to really define, to let it define their life, and they have ended where they do not want. But I'm very privileged to share this with you. So this is coming from someone that is also going through the process and is just sharing that formula with you. Hopefully, you can learn. We can all learn together, and in the next few years, we can all look back and say thank you for the journey. And I'm going to start with this it's going to be an appeal basically, because just early this month of June, thousands in their thousands young adults were given their diploma in different high schools across the United States. The month of June is a very special month for many 17, 18, and sometimes 19-year-old in America graduating from high school, their 12th grade education, and they tend to, many of them tend to not know what to do after that graduation. They always ask the question, what now, what next. And I'm hoping that on this podcast I'll be able to give you a couple of wisdom that of what you can do, and how you can be able to make use of this best time of your life, and how you can be able to navigate this path and become a great person in life. Really, graduating high school is not an easy feat. It's not an easy feat, knowing what many of you have gone through, knowing how hard it is for you to be able to go to school. Many of you have to play sports. Many of you have to help your parents. Some of you very rarely learn vocation. Some are getting the chance of being picked by in a different sport to play professional, different path. But for many out there, they really don't know what to do. But I want you to know that this is the best chance of your life. This is the time for you to come together with one or two of your classmates to make that idea you guys got while you were in school, to chase it down, to put all your effort into it, to put all your might into it, to put all your power into it, to put whatever you have into it and make that idea work, because you do not have the pressure of starting a family. You do not have a pressure of renting an apartment. You do not have a pressure of paying car notes or any other pressure that except the ones that you probably brought on yourself through the kind of friends that you make, through your association, through whatever other means that is not that has nothing to do with a positive vibe that will improve your life. So 3 things I'm going to start with on how you can navigate this young adult route, and I learned this from one of my mentors as well, a very popular American motivational speaker and leader, Leslie Brown, is popularly known as Les Brown. And these three wisdom key, I hope if you make use of them, if you use them effectively, your life will change and you will be able to find your path very easily. And after this, I will also share with you what you need to do and how you can make some of your belief system to really help you to be able to define where you want to be in life. The first one that I'm going to share with you as you navigate this young adult route is number one, which is the most important thing, is develop your mindset. Your mind is the most important weapon that you have. It is the most important tool. It is, as I call it, this is my own word now, the installed software that the creator has installed in you. Your mind, the power of your mind. There is nothing that you see today, including whatever you are, either you are listening or you are watching this podcast, including whatever you are using to watch this podcast or listening to it, there is none of it that was conceived without the use of mind. Somebody somewhere used his or her mind to conceive the idea of a video camera, of a mobile telephone, of different things that we make use today. So one of the things you have to work on as a young adult that is trying to navigate the path of life, that is trying to find him or herself, is to develop your mindset. How do you develop your mindset? The number one source, the most important source, is for you to know that there is a creator, to have some sort of spiritual practice. You cannot and you should not deceive yourself with whatever that is going on out there, with the distortion that is going on, with the noise out there. You have to know that there is a creator, there is someone up there. Whatever you believe in, being a Christian, a Muslim, an atheist, or whatever you believe in, just be aware that there is a creator up there that gives the power to your mind, that gives you the ability to be able to filter your mind for it to process negative thought from positive thought. It is very important. It is the same creator that created the next thing I'm going to give to you, still under developing your mindset, which is books. Some of the greatest people in life, some of the greatest leaders, some of the greatest impact makers and change makers have written books using their life experience, using their life stories, writing it down for you to be able to pick it up and read. I'm sure, or I'm not aware, if you have listened to any past episode of this podcast, you must have heard me talk about the impact the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill made in my life. This book was written in the 1930s, and I'm also going to talk about this same author before the end of this podcast about one of the greatest book he wrote after Think and Grow Rich that he did not had the chance to publish by himself. That's another story entirely. But right now, we are focusing on the three key things that you have to focus on for you to be able to navigate the young adult route. So, developing your mindset by being aware that there's a creator up there and reading of books. Pick Think and Grow Rich up. If you don't know where to start from, if you're asking, now he's telling me to develop my mindset. How do I go about that? Pick up a book. If you don't know what book to pick up, go Google or go to any bookstore and pick up the book Think and Grow Rich. I promise you, it is the best foundation you can give to yourself. And if you are a parent, if you are a mom, if you are a dad that has the opportunity to be watching or to be listening to this podcast, please get a copy of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill for your kid, for your teenager, for your young adult, and encourage them to read it from the beginning to the end. It is the best foundation that you can give them. So, developing your mindset is the number one thing that you have to work on. The second thing in the quest of navigating the young adult route is why you have read good books or why you are reading good books is to practice what Les Brown called OQP. Practice OQP. Only quality people. That is what OQP means. Practice OQP. Only quality people. Among your friends, among some of the people that you graduated with, among the people that you are growing up with in your community, in your environment, you will see the pattern. You will, if you look deep down, if you relax and just take a look at people's life and see how their life has metamorphosed to whatever they are today, you will be able to see the qualities in them. Some people that have succeeded in any sphere of life, they have created pattern. They will leave clues on how they were able to succeed. So practice studying these quality people and try and make attempt to follow their work. This is a global world that we live in today. It's the world of social media. Many of these people, many of these folks are available on one social media or the other. It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be Twitter, it could be LinkedIn, it could be Snapchat, it could be TikTok. You have this power right in your palm. Chase them down and try to learn from them. These quality people will give you some of the foundation, some of the speed, some of the education, some of the opportunities, some of the mentorship that you will not be able to learn through any other source, which will end up speeding your life up by maybe 5 to 10 years. And before you know it, you will be ahead of your peers. So that is the number two thing that you need to work on. Practice only quality people. It is a very, very important key for you navigating the young adult route. The third thing, which I'm going to also make mandatory for you if you want to really complete that navigation into the path of adulthood, is for you to develop your communication skill. This actually is, I think, the most important of them. Develop your communication skill because once you open your mouth, you tell the whole world who you are. You tell the whole world what you are all about. They said, do not judge a book by its cover. But guess what? People still judge book by its cover. A lot of people see books and before they open it, be like, I don't like that book cover. That's just the way it is. People still judge you based on the way you speak. If you are in a public place, you have to be very mindful of how you communicate. You have to develop communication skill by studying people that have come before you, people that are doing what you want to do, people that are really focusing on their life at the moment and doing good with their work. You have to study them and be able to develop your own mindset using some of the things that they have and they have used over the past to make themselves successful in whatever endeavor they are in. So developing your communication skill is very, very important and very key. I am going to stop here for a second and I'm going to be back with the second part of this, which is still under developing your mindset, how your belief system contribute to all of these things and to make you really, really a shining star that will become very successful in whatever endeavor you choose to work on. I'll be back after the short break. Welcome back. As I said earlier, working on your mindset, developing your mindset, practicing OQP, practicing only quality people, and developing your communication skills are the essential three things you have to make a very, very important skill of becoming person of success in any endeavor that you choose to follow. Now, under the same topic, which is developing your mindset, there is a belief system. Belief system is one thing that you will, if you study anyone that is at the top of their career today or at the top of any industry, their belief system has been the key for them. So I will give you six main information on how you can really make this one work for you. Belief system is the foundation of excellence. If your belief system can be worked on, if you perfect it, if you can be able to develop it to a place where you don't think of anything negative, you have set yourself up for excellence for life. You have set yourself up for greatness in life. And among these six things, you will see that it will really help you if you're able to follow them bit by bit and really challenge yourself to. One of the number one thing that you have to know about belief system is that everything happens for a reason and there is a purpose and it serves everything happens for a reason and a purpose and it serves us. Whatever happened to you while you are trying to navigate the path to adulthood, the path to teenage years, getting out of the high school age, trying to become an adult, trying to buy your own car, trying to have your first girlfriend, trying to set up a family, you will experience failures. You will experience a lot of challenges. You will experience a lot of heartbreaks from your parents, from your peers, from your lover, from many people that you probably would not think would disappoint you. So you have to be aware that everything that happens to you, there is a reason and a purpose behind it, and it serves a reason. There is always a reason behind it. So you have to make this a part of your life. Make it, trust it, know that it's going to happen. When you have that at the back of your mind, it will not hurt so bad when they happen. So this is part of what will shape you. This is part of what will make you strong. And by working on your belief system and believing that everything that happens for a reason and a purpose and it serves a particular reason. The second thing will be that there is no such thing as a failure. There are only results. There will be a lot of times where you will put your mind on something, where you will aim that you will have a plan that when I do this, when I put 1 plus 1 together, I expect it to be 2. Or when I put 2 plus 3 together, I expect it to be 5. But the way life is structured, the way life has treated people ahead of you, people that are living currently now, and people that will come behind you, you have to be aware that there will be a lot of failure, but there is no such thing as failure, because that particular failure that you think is more or less a result that did not happen the way you think or the way you want it to happen. So it is not really a failure. It's like you doing a sport, and every season you expect to win the best player in your position or in your team. That is not going to happen. Just take a look at it. Look at the Michael Jordan of this world. Look at the Cristiano Ronaldo of this world. If you're in the soccer industry, the Lionel Messi of this world. Lionel Messi did not win his first World Cup until his mid 30s. His first and his only World Cup. And this is someone that was at the pinnacle of his career for over a decade, being one of the best person that have ever played the game of football or soccer, whatever way you call it. But because he persisted, he kept trying, and at the age of 35 or 36 or thereabout, he became a World Cup winner. Cristiano Ronaldo gave it all his best, won every other laurels, won every other award except the FIFA World Cup. But are you going to call Cristiano Ronaldo a failure? No, you cannot call him a failure. They said, and I quote, Michael Jordan has about 15 seasons in the basketball industry, in the basketball game, and only won MVP for about half of those times. The remaining half that he didn't win it, can we say he was a failure? No. Michael Jordan cemented his place as actually up to date as the best ever person to play the game of basketball in the United States or anywhere in the world. So there is no such thing as a failure. There is always a result. You have to believe this. You have to know that this will happen. You will have many, many times that things will not go the way you plan, but take it as a form of inspiration. Use it to keep going. Use it to keep shaping yourself. Use it to keep getting better. And your life will really, really take shape. The third one is whatever happens, you have to take responsibility. There will be so many times in your life that many, many things will happen, but make sure that you never at one point of your life blame anyone else for your mistake. For whatever happens to you, you must take responsibility. Whatever happens in my business, whatever happens in my life, whatever happens in my personal life, whatever happens in my children's life is my responsibility. I am to be blamed for anything. If you have this kind of belief system, it will help you not to get depressed easily about anything. It will help you to always be able to move on quickly from one failure and expect the next one, and just know that it is not a failure, it is actually a result. So whatever happens, you must take responsibility. You must know that you are the one that have to fix it. You are the one that have to keep going. You are the one that must not say you quit. I am not telling you any of these things that I'm telling you because I just want to share. These are some of the steps. These are some of the things I have personally passed through in my own few years or 4 decades and more on the planet Earth, and I'm so excited to share them with you. Number four, it is not necessary to understand everything to be able to use everything. That's a very powerful one. You don't have to understand every situation, but you have to be willing to use every situation that you have to move your life forward. Forward thinking. Regardless of what happens, regardless of where you are, you always have to make use of everything that you have, because you don't have to, and you don't have to understand it. You don't have to understand why they happen. You don't have to question your integrity. You don't have to question your purpose. You just have to believe that you don't have to understand it, but make use of all those things that happen, of every resource that you have, everything that happens to you. Take advantage of it and use them as some sort of inspiration to move your life forward. Number five, this is a very, very, very important one. You have to know that people are your greatest resource. Yes, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, and they might not be able to help you so far. It could be your uncle, it could be that your classmate, as I mentioned earlier, that you are thinking of creating an idea together and building a business together. Knowing somebody else that knows somebody that knows someone that will link you to and give you the necessary resource that you need. So you have to be aware that people are the greatest resource that you have. So you have to depend on them. You have to keep building important relationship. You have to make use of everyone that you come across in a positive way and leave a positive impression on them. And know that people that you see on your way up, make sure you do not ruin your relationship with them, because life happens. And in case you find yourself back down, those same people that you might have messed up the relationship with might be the same people that will have to lift you up again and catapult you to where you're supposed to be, or give you a second chance, or third or fourth, as the case may be. So be aware that people are your greatest resource. The last one, in this particular one, as we work on our belief system, is for you to know that work is play. You have to find an industry, you have to find a job, you have to find a trade, you have to find something that you are passionate about, something that you can do that will look like a play for you. And you also have to be aware that this thing does not necessarily have to pay you from beginning. For some, they are very lucky. As soon as they start what they know, what they have they have passion for, it catapults them to excellence, it catapults them to success. But for some, it does not work like that. For some, they will find their passion, but they have to be aware that, okay, this passion is not paying me at the moment, but I will do this to get me to the stage where my passion can really work and make money for me. So you have to take work as play, but you have to take it very serious. You have to know that you taking work as play does not mean you have to take it with levity or with any form of weakness or with any form of unseriousness. You have to take it very, you have to become the best at it. You have to master, you have to become a master at it by practicing mastery. This is the sixth step I'm going to give you on working on your belief system. As I said, this is just a gift from me, from some of the lessons I have learned over the years. And finally, I'm going to come after this short break and give you an information about a book that I read just a few days ago, that I think everyone, apart from my first recommendation of you reading Think and Grow Rich, should make it mandatory to read or listen to this book. I'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. I read a book called Outwitting the Devil, um, recommended by a guy on YouTube called Bedros Koulian. Bedros is an immigrant from I think Belarus. I'm not sure exactly where he's from now. And this guy has a podcast that has touched thousands, and if not millions, because not many people that watch the podcast comment on it. And this man always share the story of his failure and his success. He is a very great guy. He was very blunt about sharing his early days in America as a young immigrant, some of the bad things he did, which he always called dumb things, as a teenager growing up in America, talking about when he had issues that he actually was involved in helicopter chase in the state of California as a young person when they went to rob an old lady in her apartment when he was young. But what saved him was that when the police eventually caught up with them, the old lady they went to rob identified his friends but did not identify him because he did not go into the house. He was just the driver, and he uses those experience to inspire other young people, to tell them that, hey, you don't have to make the same mistake that I have made. You can actually find a way for your life. And this man has a boot camp. He has chain of gyms across the United States. He's very successful right now with successful family, and he's the one that recommended the book Outwitting the Devil. Even though I've always known that Napoleon Hill is a great author, but reading that book further shaped my own life towards more positivity. And I want to share with you some of the quick lessons I learned from that book. If you've been following me on social media, I did about a minute and a half video on it just this past week, talking about the true takeaway for me from that book. Because Napoleon Hill in that book made it in such a way that he was interviewing the devil, and one of the key thing that the devil said in that book was that the 98% of the world belongs to him, and only 2% belong to his opponent. And what he meant by his opponent is the creator himself, God. And he said we should just take a look around and see what is going on in the world today. And one thing is very significant about this book. The book was written in 1938 by Napoleon Hill. But Napoleon Hill could not release the book because of the discussion he had with the devil. Because he said, if you write this book, you will go down as a villain. Your name would not be remembered for good. So I guess he was scared, or he just couldn't. He just didn't have the nerve to release the book then. So he just kept it, and he died in 1970, I believe. And his wife came across the book as well after Napoleon Hill passed, but she also could not let the book be released. But I think he left a note that once she also passed, and some particular folks, particular family member of Napoleon Hill passed, the book can now be released. And the book was eventually released in 2011. And in that book, man, there's so much information, and I'm going to recommend you read that book for yourself to be able to understand what I'm saying. The title again is Outwitting the Devil. One of the things the devil said in that book is that one of the major things that affect people in the world is that many people are drifters. They drift about things in life, and the difference between a successful person and a non-successful person is that there are people that he considered to be drifters and non-drifters. Non-drifters, they have failures in their life, but they use those failure, those adversity as if to gather wisdom and to keep going, and eventually they are successful. So I'm going to give you 7 habits, 6 actually, of in order to outwit the devil. Real quick, this is what I will be. This is all I'll be able to give to you as a wrap up this segment of the podcast today. And number one of them is that you have to have a definite major purpose in life. I mean, if you have been listening to this podcast from the beginning, you remember I said that thing. I said it just short time ago. Having a purpose is a very key point for you to be able to navigate this life easily. It's one of the things that will help you not to falter, not to fail, not to be looking around. Knowing what you love to do and finding it very early in life will help you. It will shape you. It will move your life forward. It will not let you fall into the trap of what am I here for? Why am I here? And how do you find your purpose? Number one, you have to know that there's a creator. You have to read books. You have to find what you love to do. You have to listen and watch carefully. You have one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Listen more, look around you, look at the patterns of the world, and just get your purpose from there. Number two is obtain self-mastery. In whatever you choose to do in life, make sure you become a master at it. If you are a salesman, become one of the best salesmen on the planet Earth. If you are into any vocation, if you are into auto engineering, specialize in repairing a particular vehicle brand. It could be BMW specialist, it could be a Mercedes specialist, it could be a Toyota specialist, it could be a GMC or any other vehicle specialist. Just become a master at something. Obtain self-mastery in something that people, when they remember that particular trade on that or that particular vocation, your name will come up as the first 2 persons in their mind. Number three is for you to use adversity for benefits, because adversity is going to come. You will experience a lot of adversity and failure. Make sure you use them as benefits. Do not let them destroy you. Do not let them push you down. And this is the devil himself that is actually giving this advice on how you can be able to scale through out of the 98% that he says he control and be among the 2%. The other one is that you should use time as tool. Time is money. Do not let any of your time be a downtime. Make sure you occupy your 24 hours. Your 7 hours or 8 hours of sleep is very important, but take 8 hours out of 24 hours. You have 16 hours every day to do something with your life. Make the best use of your time. Use it as a tool. The other one is find harmony. Find harmony among family and friends. Be a peacemaker. Be someone that's always looking for ways to make your society better, your community better, your association better. Whatever you have, make sure you have an harmonious relationship with folks around you. And the final one is think through your plan for attaining your definite purpose. Whatever your purpose is, take your time to sit down and write down plans. Your plan might not come to you at one time or in one particular moment, but take your time to sit down, write things down. That's one of the reasons why journaling is important. But I think on my next episode of the podcast, I will talk about those three things, which Jim Rohn taught me as well in his work on how you can become a person of success, and the three things you should live for your family. But those are the six I can share with you on that book, Outwitting the Devil. It's been my pleasure bringing this special episode of the podcast to you. I'm very grateful for you being a fan, being a listener, being a viewer of the podcast, and I really hope your dream become a reality. I hope you never ever give up on your dream. I hope you know that your adversity and failure is pointing you towards your purpose, towards your success, towards where you need to be. Never ever give up. My name is Bayonle Arashi. I'll see you guys again next time, God willing. Have a good one. Bye bye now.
Thank you for listening to the Crossing Bridges podcast with Bayonle Arashi. Your comments, suggestions, and ideas are welcomed. Follow Bayonle on all social media platforms at Bayonle Arashi, or visit www.bayonlearashi.com for coaching and speaking engagements. See you next time.